Welcome to another episode of Stack Your Points. As always, I'm your credit card chaos agent. I'm Matt from the Matt Clausen YouTube channel, joined as always by RJ from 2 Minute Points and Miles. RJ, how are you today?
You know what, Matt? I'm good. I just got my first health day of 2026 out of the way. I drove up to New Hampshire. I stayed in a lovely Hotel Indigo. I had a very nice, relaxing, 18 hours of quiet and peace. There were two bathrooms, a separate bedroom, and a living room. I feel like this was Lonnie's dream setup. There were many rooms in this here hotel suite. I got to flex my IHG Diamond status, Diamond Elite status, I should say. So I got the upgrade. So it was cool. A lot of skiers out. So the little restaurant was very full and very loud because what is a soft surface? Why would we put them in places people gather so it's not deafeningly loud? I don't think that we as a modern society have embraced this like we should. But I had a nice little end of January trip to celebrate the fact I'm not sick anymore.
There you go. Not bad. And we're joined by Lonnie from the Call Me Lonnie YouTube channel. Lonnie, how are you today?
Feeling good, looking great. I actually hit a huge milestone today. I'm not going to tell you what for because I don't want to come off too humble, but I am happy. Today was a good day. I am glad that I hit it. It's not another Guinness World Record though.
That was going to be my question. Did you hit another?
I knew it was coming. It's not another Guinness World Record, but it feels good when you put your mind to something and you're able to hunker down and then go achieve it. So today was a happy day.
Interesting. No, that's cool. Also, questions about international travel answered on your members only this week.
I did, yeah. I gave away some of my personal tips and tricks on just how to travel internationally without overthinking it, just keeping it simple, which can work if you're traveling with a family, traveling solo. In this case, my next trip, I'm traveling solo for a personal trip of mine, my one that I get this year. Like I said, just keep it simple, and then some of the big tips and tricks of how to use tech and what cards to carry. We got a lot of cards, y'all. Let's just be real. You don't need all of them.
There you go.
I am not going to Barcelona this year. It's the first time in a couple of years.
Mobile World Congress will weep in your absence.
That's not till March this time.
Really?
Yep.
Oh. No. Took a shot.
Missed.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Barcelona is still one of my favorite cities on this planet. It is great. If you've never been there, I would add anyone listening, add it to your to-do list, if you will, to-go list, whatever you want to call it. It's worth it.
There you go. We may or may not have Craig join us. If he pops in, great. And if he pops in after the edit, hey, consider this the warning.
Hey.
Yeah, exactly. As we were wont to do, we like to jump in and start off with our viewer questions. Our first question this week comes from Kirby G, who asks, does anyone at your work know how much of a credit card nerd you are? And if so, how much are you willing to talk about it? And how many referrals have you gotten from your work friends? Only if I'm willing to disclose it. Depends on the person, depends on whatever. I've mentioned that I have a YouTube channel to a couple of coworkers. I have a few coworkers who have subscribed to my channel. Hopefully they don't notice the exact times that some of my videos post. Otherwise, I would just turn around and say, that was preset to drop at that time for maximum viewership. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what happened. How deep do I go? Not very deep, because honestly, credit cards have to be one of the most boring possible topics you could get into conversations with people at work. I also don't human very well, so there's that. Referrals, how many have I gotten from my work friends? No idea. They wouldn't tell me. They won't tell me. I can tell you this much. I am not swimming in referrals like other YouTube channels. With the exception of Rove. Rove is the only one that I have gotten significant referrals off of. And I'm north of 100 on that.
You got to say your tagline. Yeah. You said Rove, so now you got to say it.
Yeah. I moderate a Facebook group for Rove. They give me a stipend of 5,000 points a month. So there we go.
Thanks. I don't need the FCC coming for RJ and myself because you didn't say it.
So you can get like one courtyard on points a year from your Facebook moderation.
Pretty much.
I don't have anything against courtyard. I'm just saying.
It's still free.
Actually, I can probably get more than one because I'd be booking Marriott through Rove with Rove miles with loyalty eligible. So I'd be getting a guaranteed like 1.6 cent per point for that courtyard. So I could probably get 2 or 3 nights instead
Still
of
free.
half a night using Marriott points.
Still free.
It is free.
Still free. It's significantly freer than the free that Marriott offers.
Yeah. However you define free. It's passive income that's free, which I define as didn't take money out your bank account.
This is true. Lonnie, you've mentioned talking to coworkers. You've mentioned coworkers getting jealous. How deep do you get into the credit card conversation with coworkers?
So I'm going to answer this in a 2-part because as I've disclosed before, mid-ish last year, I left my old company and now I am at a different company. My old company, literally everyone knew I had a credit card YouTube channel or a travel channel. And most of them were subscribed to it. As for how many referrals I got, I don't know. Like sometimes people would tell me, that's coworkers that would get more in-depth questions and take up time to ask, hey, let's go get lunch and talk about it. Yeah, I know about them. But then there was also the company I work for, we were very open with sharing information and knowledge. And so there was a company-wide Excel sheet that was just like, put your referral links on here if you want. So I put a lot of them on there and I got some from it. I don't know who got them, but that also worked. So I'm just like, I might not know who you are, but here's the link to my channel. Hit subscribe if you like. And here are my referral links. And every so often, they will happen. So yeah, a lot of people knew that I was a YouTube creator at that particular company. Actually, there's a lot of YouTube creators at that company, believe it or not. And I found new friends of the YouTube community because I put myself out there and said I have a YouTube channel. When I switched companies, I kept my mouth shut, but that is slowly starting to reveal itself as they're like, dude, how are you always going somewhere? Then it opens up or whatever. And then I'm like, oh, I do this or that or whatever. And the next thing you know, we don't have to talk about this. I actually have a YouTube channel. Just subscribe to it. Like all your questions are in a couple of different videos. Just go watch. And so now a few of my coworkers at my new company do know I have a YouTube channel, but they all know that I am a points and miles travel strategist.
Yeah, I would be really surprised if your old company didn't know you had a channel. Yeah. Just putting that out there right there. RJ, how deep into these conversations do you get?
So I am very selective of who I engage in these conversations with. I work from home full time, so I am in my dungeon, so to speak, even though it's not underground, but I am in my cave dealing with my job. So I don't interact with coworkers really unless I want to, which is nice as I'm working. So I don't bring it up much unless I know the person well enough to ask the kind of questions that you have to ask if you're going to talk credit cards with somebody. So you have to ask about how they spend their money and different things like that, right? Or at least that's how I approach it when I'm getting into it with them, because inevitably they're going to ask, so what card should I get, or this or that? And if I'm not comfortable with you, I'm not going to ask how you spend your money because I don't care. Right? It's not the podcast where I have an audience and I'm trying to be responsible or whatever. If you're my coworker and I don't want to talk to you that long, I'm just not going to. There are some people who I have talked to about it. A friend of mine is big into credit cards, and she actually yelled at me when I upgraded my Delta Gold to a Delta Reserve because I didn't use her referral link. And I had to be like, no, I didn't open a new card. I upgraded my card. So, okay, I forgive you. Because I didn't use her referral link and she thought I got a new card. So I have a few friends like that. But by and large, I do not work in an industry with a lot of travel. So there's not a lot of that opportunity to be like, how are you paying for this trip? People know that I'm gone when I'm gone, but I do a lot of like family vacations. So there's not a whole lot of anybody being like, how did you do that? So it's a little bit lower key, I think, than necessarily Lonnie is. But I I talk to the people I want to talk to about it. I'll say that.
Yeah. Same. Like I have a couple folks who like we've swapped notes on what cards we have, but I don't know. Then there's folks who would say like, "Oh, I need to talk to you about credit cards at some point." I'm like, "Cool, I'm available literally whenever," and nothing ever comes of it, and I'm quite happy with that. You want to hear some of my thoughts or some of my outrageous takes? Check my channel or watch me here. Here's where I get grumpy. Anyway, thanks, Kirby. Our next question comes from AP, who asks, "What are your thoughts on orphan points? How do you manage them? Ignored? You target additional acquisitions so they become usable? This could be points in the system you moved away from, had some kind of work trip with an airline you weren't really looking to acquire mass points in, etc. So, how do you handle the subject of orphan points?" Lonnie, I know you would prefer not to have them to begin with, but in the off chance that you got them, how do you handle orphan points?
First, how are we defining orphan points in this question?
You suddenly have 300,000 Avios that you don't know what you're doing with because you don't fly British Airways, you don't fly One World.
Okay, so defining them in that way.
Or your American Airlines stash.
That's a great one. I don't necessarily, that's why I was asking how are we defining them. I don't consider my American Airlines ones as orphans. I know they're there. They are growing, and eventually I will burn them some way. But in the case of like Avios, an ecosystem in which I have no need for use of or whatever, or pay attention to, my thoughts on them is get rid of them as fast as possible in the most efficient way that you can. So let's just use Avios because that's what you brought up, Matt.
Sure.
If I were to have Avios, like you say, 300K in Avios, that's enough for something. Burn them. And use them for anything, and make sure, try to cap it out. Of course, keep it from coming out of your bank account, but if you got 300K and you can only use 297, burn the 3,000. Just let those die. Just try to cap it out. But the way that I normally would take advantage of them, and this would only happen, for example, in an ecosystem that I might back out of. Maybe I was once Avios and now I'm no longer Avios. Let's just, instead of Avios in this next scenario, let's just use United. I'm not going to fly United anymore for some reason, but I still got those miles. Try to use some of the backdoor options into an ecosystem that you actually do use. So in the case of United, use them with another airline. It still might be Star Alliance, but that Star Alliance partner might be a direct partner to another credit card and into another ecosystem is what I'm saying. Try to use a backdoor option, and if not, use a secondary option. For example, going with United, if I'm not going to use them for a flight or a backdoor option, I could use it to book a hotel at the United hotels instead. Just try to get rid of them. Of course, don't go overboard. Don't try to get rid of, unless you want to, of course, your money. I'm just not your financial advisor, your mom or your dad. I'm a guy on the internet. So do whatever you want with your money. But me personally, I wouldn't, unless I was already planning that trip, I wouldn't pay extra money out of my bank account. If it was, they're going to expire on Thursday and it just happens to be Monday, then yeah, I'm just going to try to get as close to that in the memory of Bob Barker, close to 100 as possible without going over.
No, that definitely makes sense.
I don't have any. Not really. I have some AA and I have some United. I think I have 13,000 AA left and 20,000 United. They're not really orphan though, right? If I ever have to do something where I'm flying either one, I can just use them for that. They're not dead, right? Nobody's died. Bambi's mom was not shot in this scenario. They're just hanging out there. Now, I think airline points and hotel points are different because there are a lot of hotel points you can liquidate into something else. If I had 200,000 Marriott points, they would just be Delta points. Like I would just move them to Delta. I don't care if they get cut down because I am able to use them directly on a thing I want, right? Am I going to liquidate 200,000 Hilton points? No, I'll just stay at a Hilton for a weekend, right? I think we get so precious on, oh, I have 17,000 points in this thing I'm probably not going to use. Most of these systems, as long as you have an active account and like every 2 to 300 years do something, the points are still going to be there. So I think we get way too precious about maximizing every point when as long as they're not going to disappear on you, they can just chill and they'll be fine. Yes, there might be a devaluation, but if it's not a program you're going to fly, it's probably fine. And then if your life changes, if tomorrow Lonnie has to live in Atlanta and he's got the Delta hub right there, his life might change, right? Like having some Delta points at that point might be handy. So having that ability, that flexibility to switch and not start from 0 points is also something that can come in handy.
No, that definitely makes sense. If you're looking at a hotel system, your hotel points can be used to transfer back to airlines if airlines are going to be your jam. The transfer rates are going to suck, but would you rather just get rid of as many of your points in that ecosystem as you can? Or are you going to sweat Hilton transfers at 10 to 1? Hyatt transfers at 5 to 2. I don't remember what Choice transfers to, but they all have their conversion rates with their partner airlines. If their partner airlines are airlines that you use, great. Airline points, if you're stuck in a position where you've got some left over, you don't necessarily know what to do with them, there are other ways to liquidate your points. I know Hilton has a way for you to donate your points to various causes, so that can certainly be a useful thing. Flying Blue also has the ability to donate your points. I think Avios has a way to donate your points. You're not going to get like anything charitable contribution wise back, I don't think. You may not, like, you're probably not banking on it. And if you're just contributing back like 1,050 points, you're really going to hold out for a $10 contribution waiver? No. And I'm just going at 1 cent per point there. But you can definitely donate your points if you need to. There's some other ways that you can do things, but I don't know how above board they are. And I don't necessarily want to take this space to do that. It's probably something I'll explore more like on my channel. But you can definitely donate them. You can convert them on the hotel side. There's also the ability to gift points. So, hey, I've given up on Hilton, but my best friend Jerry loves him a Homewood Suites. I don't have a best friend Jerry, but Jerry loves the Homewood Suites.
I literally have a best friend named Jerry.
Oh, dang, nice. I'm not giving your friend Jerry any Hilton points, but like I'm giving hypothetical Jerry Hilton points, and Jerry can use them. Or if I've got leftover choice points and I don't know what to do with them, and it's not a significant enough number for a redemption, I'm sure there's other ways I can liquidate them. The other thing that you can do, if you can't liquidate them, you don't have a minimum to transfer them, you don't have a minimum to donate them to a charitable cause, you know what else you can do after a little while? Because I'm sure that number is below 1,000, under 1,000 points. Are you willing to eat less than $10? If you're willing to eat less than $10, just let them expire. But that's 2 years of inactivity. Plenty of ways that you can use them, between transferring to airlines, transferring to friends and family, transferring them to charitable causes. You got plenty of options when you have decided that you're done with ecosystem X. Now I'm talking specifically hotel and airline points. Bank points, cash those suckers out. If you're done with Chase cashes out at 1 cent per point into your bank account. You got 100,000 points, you're just done with Chase. That's $1,000. take your money. Same thing with Wells. Same thing with Capital. Capital One's a little bit dicey because if they're in miles, you're a little hosed. Can't even say the same thing with membership rewards because you got to have the special accounts to unlock things. If you don't have those accounts, are you going to open those accounts to unlock the things? Maybe not. And then there's Bilt. And I don't know what you're going to do when you decide to give up on Bilt. They don't give you ways to do that. Yeah, so plenty of options out there.
Also, if they're airline miles, you can book a hotel.
Yes.
There are, or a rental car. That's what I was doing with my AA miles. That's why I don't have the 50,000 from the sub. Like, you can do there. Some have experiences, some have a bunch of different things.
Except AA was dicks about that with you.
Yeah, well, that whole Hawaii trip was, I'm not meant for the sun.
Yeah. So plenty of options. You don't have to worry about letting them burn. Just let them burn as an absolute last result. And let them burn at less than 1,000 points. If you got less than 1,000 points, don't worry about it. You've done your job. You've burnt enough. Our next question comes from Keith. Keith asks, what would you change? Would you change anything in the Capital One portfolio? And if so, what would you change or improve? RJ, you're a former Capital One Venture X holder.
I
What'd you do
am.
different?
What's funny, I missed that card, even though I have no interest in Capital One miles. The simplicity of the card is really nice. I'll say that, which we'll get to in my topic later. But yeah, no, I think I would differentiate things more. I think that's the problem with the Capital One lineup is you have a 1.5% card. You have a card with a couple of 3% categories. I think 4% now or something. They've changed the saver like 6 times.
They don't know what that
You
card
have,
is anymore.
yeah, you have the 1.25 for reasons, Venture One, and then you have 2 cards that earn 2x on everything. And that's the entire lineup. And then you have the platinum, which nobody cares about, which somebody, I made the comment to somebody once, oh yeah, I have the platinum card, because in our sort of miles and travel world, there is really only one platinum card.
Mhm.
And they thought I meant the Capital One platinum card because that was their frame of reference, right? So sometimes we all forget ourselves, but I would differentiate things more, right? Like I would make the cards different. Like it or hate it from the American Express standpoint, they have 3 cards that do 3 very different things on the personal side, right? Whether you like what those cards do or not, you can differentiate those 3 cards. And they don't really have that on the Capital One side. So I would differentiate things. I would have that sort of everyday card. I would have that food card. And you might have to remove categories from the saver and divvy it out into different cards. But I would have cards. The City Strata lineup is a pretty solid lineup. Something like that in Capital One for people who like Capital One miles isn't a bad idea. So I think they need more differentiation. So that's, I think, what my answer would be.
All right. Lonnie, what could Capital One do to make you give a care?
Add United.
All right, that's fair. I should have seen that one coming from a mile away.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know what hotels I can transfer to from Capital One. I literally don't pay attention to that ecosystem at all.
It's Wyndham.
Nope.
It's Choice.
Nope.
I'm grasping at straws here because their choices, like their transfer partners are.
And do they even have rental car partners? I might like. They got nothing for me. They got nothing for me.
They got Turkish on the Starline side, and they got Air Canada.
Yeah, and their travel portal. But after the $300, then there's no point. I got 3 other travel portals I could use. So
you got Travel Eraser at 1 cent per point.
Nope.
Yeah. I thought I'd throw something up there.
I appreciate it, but they got nothing for me.
That's fair.
Capital One will not be getting my money.
Landing United might get Lonnie to go, oh, what cards do you have?
At least I can do something with that. I could transfer them out for that.
Outside of subs, you have cards that earn more points than all of their offerings.
Also that. Everyone thinks I'm just a Capital One hater. I'm not. I'm really not. They just don't do nothing for me. Like, that's the equivalent of me being a McDonald's hater because I don't eat McDonald's. I just don't want your product. It's not being hated. It's just you don't make a product for me.
Yeah.
Maybe they're hating on me. Ever think of that?
It's entirely possible. Project managers at McDonald's wake up every day and just go, "Hey, how do we annoy Lonnie today?"
No, they don't.
I know. Couldn't just let me know. Anyway,
that is you're gonna get laid off if any McDonald's employees. Yeah, what can we do to annoy Lonnie? Okay, yeah, your job's about to be taken away.
how am I going to make Lonnie's day a little bit worse today?
You want the job that says, how can we get him to walk into one of our stores, one or two of our restaurants? And that person's probably on the chopping block as well, honestly.
Take chicken nuggets and turn them into like actual like little bite-sized pieces of
no. I will stand by this, but I remember when McDonald's said their chicken nuggets were now made with all white meat chicken. And my first question was, and I was like maybe late teens, early 20s. My first question was, what was it made of this entire time? If it now has chicken in it.
You don't want to know.
There is also dark meat chicken. Like, moving to all white meat is one thing, but there is dark meat chicken.
I fully understand that.
That was more for the listeners at home.
Yeah. So, how would I change anything in the Capital One portfolio? And if so, what would you change or improve? First and foremost, fire everyone who negotiates their transfer rates. Because those people, I don't know how they come to, 4-3 for Japan Airlines. That sounds great. We'd be the only major credit card company that has Japan Airlines, and not going 1-to-1 with that is like absolutely the way we want to go. We can give them a 30% transfer bonus. Is still less than 1-to-1. Are you high? Then there's the hilarious. I love this so much because of how much I can make fun of it. 5-3 transfer rate with JetBlue. America's like 6th largest airline, scraping by, but the question was who collapses first, JetBlue or Spirit? And we found out it was Spirit. And you can't negotiate a 1-to-1 transfer rate. I'm firing anyone involved with negotiating transfer rates at Capital One. It is 1-to-1 or bust going forward. I would do things like look at the travel portal. I would try to make travel portal redemptions worth a little bit more than 1 cent per point. Looking at the cards, if you want to do just a 2-card setup, okay, cool. You can have the saver stay the same. Honestly, take the Venture X and slap 0.5 point per dollar more. Make it the first 2.5% card, 2.5x card. It's not exciting in any way, shape, or form, but now you have delineation between the Venture X, the Venture, and the Venture One. I would discontinue the Venture One too, but no annual fee and the transfer partners don't care. Nope. But $395, 2.5x catch-all, Visa Infinite, all that jam. Boom. I don't think they want to be the company that has 6 cards for 17 different things. I think that one of the big selling points of Capital One is all you need is 2 cards. I think they can lean into that and just make the Venture X a 2.5. And then maybe bump the saver from 3 to 3.5. Just that little tweak. And it's basically when Spinal Tap said that their amps go to 11, like our miles go to 0.5. But my point still stands. Saver, 3.5x on food, 3.5x on entertainment. Venture X, 2.5 on everything else. It's not a big jump, but it would be significant.
You just want everyone who has a spreadsheet to have to go and update it from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5x to all of the 0.5s.
I don't care if your spreadsheet and the quadratic formula explode. It's my job to change Capital One to make them better. Your spreadsheet will be fine. Ask Copilot to fix it.
Not
And if you don't trust Copilot, ask Claude to fix it. He'll take care of you.
I love Claude for writing stuff. If I have to like format writing, never ask them to do an image. Dear Lord, so bad.
It's like Junior from the Groups of Wrath, not Junior from Of Mice and Men.
Yeah, it was not good.
I'm gonna hug it and love it and squeeze it and blow up a picture, George. Look, George, I drew the bunny rabbit. Thanks, Junior.
I have nothing to follow with that.
With that, Keith, have I improved Capital One for you? Because I don't think I can keep going with the Steinbeck.
Stop.
Yeah. All right. Our next question comes from Arnally, who asks, what is the best 95 to 150 annual fee card for travel today?
United Explorer card. IHG Premier. That's all I can think of at the moment.
They're two very strong contenders.
You can also add Amex Green. That's $150.
It is.
I'm not gonna say it's great, but it is $150, and it's pretty good if you got its older brothers, if you want to call it that, older siblings. Sure. But no, I think the IHG Premier card is a highly underrated card overall. I'm not gonna say it's like the one hotel card that you need, but if you're just gonna get one hotel card on a budget, that thing can stretch. It's not made out of plastic. It's made out of like a taffy. Like it stretches.
No, that's a very strong card. $99 annual fee. You get the platinum status on the card. You get like semi-annual credits for the United Travel Bank, right?
It's only $50, so 25 front half, back half of the year. But as long as you can use it, it's $25 or $50 for the year. Global entry. By itself. That's 1 year just taken care of by itself.
Travel protections, because it's got Chase level, it's got Chase's travel protections associated with it, and it's not a terrible earner at IHG. 26 times points per dollar.
It is a 3x minimum card.
Yeah, folks can be pedantic about the and it comes with a free night cert. It's $40K, but you can bump it to 60, I think.
Something like that. I haven't actually used it since I've gotten the card.
That's fair. All right. RJ, 95 to 150, best card.
I think this is going to entirely depend on what ecosystem you're in. And I mean that if you're in Hilton, the Surpass is great. But if you almost never stay at a Hilton, that's not going to help you, right? If you're a free agent and you pick up the IHG Premier, the Surpass, I think there's only one decent Hyatt card. Like you can pick up those three and be fine, right? That's the thing is like those mid-tier hotel cards are great. You can pick up the gold. It's $0 for the first year and then it's $150. And now you got the take 15 off Delta. So if you do a lot of work travel and you rack up a lot of Delta miles, you've got the take 15 on that. The Explorer, like Lonnie said, like all those mid-tier cards, if you're not somebody who wants the high-end cards, you can get the ones that are 95 to 150 and be really happy. Like the Strata Elite, not the Strata Elite. What's the middle? Strata Premier, thank you. Strata Premier is a solid card if you're in city. Like the Autograph Journey would fit in here as well. Like all of those cards, the green, Lonnie said, all of those cards are really good. I think we overlook them because we want to get to another topic later, minimize, maximize all the credits. And a lot of these cards just don't have the credits, which is funny because the community complains about all of their cards having credits, and the cards that don't have credits also don't get a lot of attention because they don't have credits for people to game. So do we actually want to get rid of credits, or do we want to complain about something?
The latter.
I figured that one. I thought I'd pose it to the group.
I speak for the delegation. It's the latter.
Also, Is one of you having a deck put on your house at this particular moment? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Somebody that happily went to IKEA today.
Which is fine. I just know that our lovely listeners are going to mention it, so I thought I'd bring it up in the podcast.
It is what it is.
Hey, it happens.
Keep it going.
It's
keep it going.
Group might be able to help. Anyway, yeah, a bunch of cards have already been named between the green, the autograph journey. It's very hilarious that the Sapphire Preferred has not been brought up at all in this conversation. Like, it's still perfectly okay. I do think that the IHG card is a better card. I do think that the United Explorer is a better card. I do think that for travel, specifically if you have settled on IHG and you have settled on United as your primary means of travel, be it on the ground and in the air. But I do find it somewhat hilarious that we haven't brought that card up yet. I think because we're all waiting for the refresh.
If you're outside of Hyatt, like if Hyatt is not your primary thing,
yeah,
like you can do better with every single co-brand for the transfer partners with Chase.
Yep.
If you want IHG, you can get 26x on the Premier, right? So why would you get 2x on travel on the CSP? I think the earnings, I don't have the Hyatt card pulled up in front of me, but like the earnings on the Hyatt card can't be worse than 2x travel.
It's 2x on a couple of categories, but you're not really getting the Hyatt card because you want to get 2x on gym and transit.
Right.
You're getting the Hyatt card because you get 9x on Hyatt.
Right. So it's like, why would I get the CSP if I really just want Hyatt points? Just get the Hyatt card and go to Hyatt. You know what I mean? Like the CSP right now at 2x isn't attractive to the people. Really, that's just a card that if you have a Freedom Unlimited and a Freedom Flex, you can move the points off. That's all that card is for right now.
It's a $95 excise tax, and it's silly. Like, improve the card.
They've got to do something to the card. I don't know what they are going to do, but they've got to do something.
I'd love to see some leaks, but at 95 to 150, yeah, like the cards that have already been mentioned are pretty solid. Like the only other cards I could throw in there just because they're actually pretty decent earning in the ecosystem that they earn in, but nobody really likes this ecosystem necessarily. The Choice Select card at 95 is a pretty damn good earner for choice points if you want choice points. And it comes with it doesn't do free nights. It does give you 30,000 points every year, and those 30,000 points can be used to pick up 3 or 4 nights.
It also gives you, I want to say 5x in some weird categories like home improvement, and I think there's one other one, to where it'll cover you in places that most other cards won't. So if you're somebody who does a lot of like road warrior stuff, like the choice card can be great for you. I just don't want to stay at choice. Like I am not in the part of the world where the choice road trip is what I want out of life.
And finally on that one, its grocery category also covers Walmart, wholesale, and Target.
Yeah.
But definitely covers Walmart and Target as grocery. So just going to put that out there. And Wells, if you could put that on a Wells card, you win the game.
No, they'd have to cap it or nerf it. That's the thing, is people will break it immediately.
Give it a 50K cap.
Just find out what Craig spends every year on groceries and just cut it by 10 and make that the cap.
Oh, Craig would be pissed.
Be funny though.
Until he shows up. And yeah, the Surpass is great if you want Hilton points. The problem with Hilton points is like you got to generate a ton of them. The point generation there is just a pain in the butt.
It is, but like, but Hilton and Hyatt are the two ends of the extreme. Hilton points are incredibly easy to earn and incredibly easy to burn. Hyatt points are harder to earn, harder to get rid of. Like it depends on your flavor, right? Like it depends on what you want.
Yeah.
It's also easier to do cash Hilton stays in a lot of ways than it is Hyatt.
Yeah. Having recently done a cash Hilton stay, that ends up being $80 out of pocket because I burned my $50 credit that way. Use your cards as intended, folks. You end up saving some money. Yeah, so I think that's a good coverage of the 95 to 50 cards. Again, it's going to be the spice of life for you. If you are in this ecosystem, Premier's fantastic at 95. If you're in the Wells Fargo ecosystem, you can choose the autograph journey. You get 85% of what the autograph journey offers you for no annual fee, but you can choose the autograph journey. And then in Chase, look at the co-brands. The co-brands are going to be excellent for you. Yeah, so there you go. Our last question comes from Shabby Old Cloak, and Shabby recently watched a video about OnePlus. Now, OnePlus is a cell phone company that launched much fanfare. It's an Android phone maker. They blew up in terms of offering flagship phone specs, like top of the line specs for a mid-tier budget. So going from a flagship killer to an enthusiast special to how it is now, not so great. If there's still some brain space left for Bilt, I really don't have much. How does Bilt compare to this in the credit card space versus the smartphone space? I will say that Bilt launched as they were there to take on all comers. They put their sights very squarely on Chase and started out planting the flag of basically, we have the no annual fee Sapphire Preferred killer. And they did have the no annual fee Sapphire Preferred killer. And so that was the flag that they planted. They expanded upon that by adding United and Hyatt, the two big heavies for Chase. Over time, they added more Chase relevant transfer partners with adding IHG, adding Marriott, adding Southwest. They've added a couple of other ones along the way that also overlap with Chase. And they also started going after American Express to a certain extent, not to the same extent that they were going after Chase, but they put their sights also on American Express. Now they have more transfer partners than anyone else. They're the exclusive transfer partner with Alaska Airlines. They were the first to get Japan Airlines, and they got Japan Airlines at a 1-to-1 transfer ratio, which get off your butt, Capital One, fix that. They really started off as a flagship killer in smartphone parlance. And where things have slid now since the rent day change, they have backslid into, it's not fair to call them an entry-level phone or an entry-level move into the space. It's definitely not fair to call them that. It is, I think, fair to say that they have lost a lot of what made them special. And again, this is not hate for the product. I love the Bilt ecosystem. I think it is like one of those things that is highly valuable in this space. Palladium's a very interesting play, and I want to see it succeed. Obsidian is a very interesting play. I would like to see it succeed for sure. Blue is stupid. Blue can be shot into the sun, but they need a no annual fee option. I think a lot of the shine has been lost just because of the pitfalls that the company has fallen into. Again, it's one of those things where I like the product, I like the card, I have less and less time and willingness to deal with the company. And that's where it is. And the company has definitely fallen from flagship killer to, hey man, what's HMD doing with the Nokia phones now? Can we replicate that a little bit? They're not at the top of the pyramid. It's an interesting comparison for sure. I don't know how apt the comparison is, but I can see where you're coming from with that one, Shabby. RJ, your thoughts here?
It is almost impossible to stay the disruptor long term because eventually people want to make their money back. Or eventually you get money injected into you, you get rounds of funding, you IPO, you do whatever, right? It is impossible to stay that. Apple at one point was the disruptor. That's what they were at one point. They are not that anymore. OnePlus was at one point. They are not that anymore, right? All of these companies, you look time and time again, Patagonia, like all of these companies, right? And they come in, they try to disrupt, and then eventually they become part of the establishment, right? And that's not a bad thing, right? But these companies want to make money. Like they want to stay around. And sometimes they'll do interesting things, right? OnePlus will do something that nobody else is doing because their sales relative to Samsung or Apple or whoever are small enough to where if something doesn't work, they can take another bite at it next year. Bilt can try things because on the order of how many cards they're not issuing that many compared to Amex or Chase or Wells or even US Bank, right? Like they're just not. So they can try different things. But the problem is when you become the darling of a subgroup or you become the darling of the people who are super engaged and super involved and think that you're made for them, and then all of a sudden you're not, because you have to broaden, right? Like you can start super specific, but eventually you have to broaden your pool. Because if only those first like 100,000 people were the target audience of Bilt is going to die. Any company is going to die, right? At that choke point. So I'm not surprised that they've widened up and become something different. Do I think that they necessarily went in the direction that they should have? Probably not. We'll see how it works. Getting my Bilt card today and the package being open was not a great feeling. It did come the day that it said it was going to come, so that's something. My card looks black. It does not look like the Palladium card, which is also a little bit disconcerting. It does say Palladium on the back, and my app says Palladium, so that's some amount of comfort. But a lot of the startups, right? Like the three of us all know tech to varying degrees, follow tech to varying degrees. This is a lot of the AI companies. This is a lot of the mid-tier smartphone companies, right? This is how those companies work. Now, because credit cards, yes, a lot of companies issue credit cards. Only so many have United and Hyatt as a travel partner, right? Like only so many have the big swings that they take. If they had the same transfer partners as Capital One or as Wells or as US Bank, to say none, they're coming, guys, we promise. But if they had those partners, I don't think people would be as angry at some of the things they've done. I think people are angry because they have United, because they have Hyatt, because they have some of the international partners where you can do some really cool things, right? That's why people are angry, because it's that thing of, I believed in you. You got United and I believed in you, and now you're disappointing me. I bought the smartphone and you said you were going to support this for 5 years and it's been 3 and I can't get my patches anymore, right? Like people want these companies to stay how they are, but they can't. Like they have to pay their investors back. They can't just roll on. It's not how these companies work. Not unless, you're completely self-funding it, or, you're infinitely rich or have a money printing machine and can float the amount of money. But also financial services, you can't do that like most companies, right? It doesn't work like that. There are regulations ostensibly that should be followed. So I think it's just the natural cycle of how these mid-tier companies come in, disrupt, and then have to fall in line isn't necessarily correct, but have to play some of the game. We see it a lot with journalists, right? Somebody comes on, they disrupt everything, they're the person asking the tough questions, and then they get hired by an establishment or go to an established media thing, and their writing might be just as good, but it doesn't have that outsider quality because now they know more. They have more of that intel. They have to be different. You have to comport yourself differently. So am I surprised? No. Would I make all the same choices? No. But we'll see how it goes.
Comparing Bilt to OnePlus, would that make Mesa the Microsoft kin of credit cards?
That would make them the car phone.
Oh, but the car phone had actual utility.
How many car phones do you know that are in existence right now, Matt?
This is true. And to be fair, Mesa lasted a whole lot longer than kin. Lonnie, your thoughts here?
First off, RJ, just call Bilt and get your card replaced right now. First thing, just replace the card. A lot of deja vu of when they went to Wells Fargo and everybody was getting hit with fraud. That's the first thing I thought of. But this fact your mail is open, I need a new card number before February 7th.
Yeah, not super thrilled. I did try to call them this afternoon and I was on hold for 37 minutes and I gave up.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't call them for a couple of days, but you can't have it both ways. Like, they're going through a transition right now. I'm sure you've heard. So, but
I was promised a seamless transition. Thank you.
Anywho, I also agree with RJ. I don't think it's a fair comparison to compare OnePlus with Bilt, especially when it comes in the cell phone game, because everyone has this device that comes out, and now it's just marketing speak. Oh, this is the iPhone killer, or this is the Samsung killer, the folding phone killer. They never kill anything, and the iPhone will never be killed. It's just something you're just going to have to live with forever. Just think of the day where you were around when the iPhone 17 came out, and then the iPhone 37 comes out, or the iPhone 47. You'd be like, man, I've been around here from the beginning, right? That was a good one. But when it comes to Bilt, and the reason why I say it's not a fair comparison, because Bilt never came out to be the killer of anything either. They never came out to be the Chase killer. I would say they came out to combat Chase, to take some of what works well with Chase, and I think they did a great job of that. Chase, yes, you add in the co-branded cards. Chase ain't going nowhere. Chase ain't going. You're not going to kill the Sapphire lines. You're not going to kill. Bilt couldn't even touch the Freedom cards, either one of them, outside of 3X Dining, of course. Sorry, Matt. Everything's 3X Dining for some reason, but outside of that's basically about it. And then they didn't have an ecosystem that collaborated with another ecosystem within the same ecosystem, i.e. my Freedom cards can earn UR points, which I can put on my Sapphire Reserve card and get even more value out of the travel portal. Bilt didn't have that. Oh. So I wouldn't necessarily say that they are a killer. Now, as for being an enthusiast, the one card for the person that doesn't really know the credit card game, the one card for the person beginning into the credit card game. Absolutely. I think that was the 1.0 was a great entry card, the 1.0 Wells Fargo card. Which one was that? 1.5 Wells Fargo card.
There's a service pack and a patch and who freaking knows.
That was a great card for a specific niche of people. Like I said, those that are just getting started, those that don't know or playing the credit card game, maybe only have a few actual cards. Those that live in major metropolitan cities, especially Manhattan. It was a very niche card for that. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think with that alone, we could call it an enthusiast card. Yeah, pay your rent with it and get 4 more bananas, if you will, and get out, which is what most people ended up doing. So I would fall that into enthusiast card. I think in this 2.0 transition, one, as we know, that pay your rent and buy 4 bananas didn't work out too well, which is why they had to change partners. They're going into 2.0. They're changing their business model. They're trying to get out of the enthusiast game and get back into a business game where we've talked about this before. It can't be gamified. If you want to get in the Bilt ecosystem, you have to use your Bilt card. There's no way out of it. The more you put in, the more you get out. Mm-hmm. Period. And so I don't think they were the killer of anything except for themselves, because they sold the dream and then they took said dream away from those that fell into it, me being one of them. I used to talk heavily about the Bilt card, especially when I ran it. I have videos about the Bilt card. I was like, yo, this is a great card. I can't say it's a great card anymore. That's not me like booty hurt, feeling some sort of way. I'm just being, these are facts. It's not the same card, and this current 2.0 version is no longer for me. They businessed me out of the as a customer. Now I got my blue card right here. Mine showed up. My mail wasn't open, but mine showed up. I got my blue $0 annual fee card. I haven't given up on them, but they have pushed me out from a business standpoint. And I think they did that with way too many people. Some people will say it's gotten better, and that's okay if that works out for them. Doesn't work for me. And a lot of people, it does work for them. I have other friend creators that we have not necessarily had friction, but we've had conversations since. It was like, yo, this card's great for me. And I'm like, well, it's no longer great for me. And that's okay. Two things can be true at the same time. So we'll call that what it is. And if the Palladium card, if you want another $495 card on your bank roster and you can get value out of it, more power to you. And I don't want to take away from that if that works for you. They just didn't make a card that works for me. I don't think they made a card that works for a lot of people. I seen creators come out of the woodwork because of Bilt. Yo, I ain't made a video in 6 months, but I'm about to make a Bilt video because this ain't it. And I'm like, I'm standing over here. I'm with y'all over here. This ain't it. This ain't for me. I'm not hating on them. I haven't put out a video that hated on them. Even Matt and I recorded a video where I did not hate. I was completely unbiased, right, Matt? I had positives and negatives.
Yeah.
Completely unbiased. But are they a killer? No. Are they enthusiasts? They were. I think they doubled down on enthusiasts because the card is now so niche that it can only work for certain amounts of people. Before it was just more universal, more agnostic, if you will.
Yeah. No, I'm not trying to say that they were like a chase killer, but when they launched the original Bilt card or the 1.0 or the 1.5 or whatever we want to call that first card from Evolve and with Wells Fargo, they had their very clearly set on we want to be the no annual fee Chase Sapphire Preferred. They're not going to beat the Sapphire Preferred, but they want to be in the same conversation as the Sapphire Preferred. Yeah, I did some fuzzy math, but I don't think my math is right on the potential number of signups coming out of the seamless transition. But we'll see what happens there.
Don't get me.
Some people who got their Bilt package and there was no card in it. My favorite comment on Reddit so far has been, they said they were moving to cardless.
It's about as smooth as sandpaper.
Yep. No, I did some fuzzy math because I know that they had 880,000 cards with Wells Fargo, and 15%. They said that they put out an email today, some more marketing email, like thanking people for signing up for 2.0, and they were like 83% of people requested a card. And I'm like, requested is doing a lot of heavy lifting there because requested does not mean that 83% of your customers got the new card. It just means that 83% of people went in and said, hey, maybe?
I want to know if that includes the percentage of people who requested the Wells Fargo autograph card. Like they didn't cancel it, because that would be hilarious. They're just like, okay, how do we make this number look good? Like lies, damn lies, statistics. We're going to lean in heavy to that last one.
I ain't gonna lie, I've already admitted this. I'm canceling my Wells Fargo autograph transition or whatnot, and I did it in my application process. I swear to God, if a Wells Fargo card shows up in my mailbox,
you just call on the 7th, you cancel it.
So I trust the process is my point here, Matt. If a Wells Fargo card shows up, I think that's the final straw of smooth transition.
Oh, so many people are going to get a Wells Fargo autograph card because they didn't read the fine print that they're going to think that Wells Fargo opened the card up on their behalf, when that's not the case. But my fuzzy math ends up with there's maybe 600,000 cards coming out of this, because I went with a 60% acceptance rate for the card for those who clicked on.
Which still is going to put it at one of the biggest cardless cards. So there's still going to be those problems. Forget Bilt for a second. That's a lot for cardless to manage.
Oh yeah, no, I like the three biggest cardless cards I would imagine are the Bilt Palladium, Bilt Obsidian's probably in the top 4. There's still the Coinbase card. I don't know how many people signed up for that card, and there's the Qatar cards, which I think the top Qatar card might be in the conversation of one of the most circulated cards, but I can guarantee you that the Coinbase card and the Qatar card are not even half of the number of Bilt Palladium cards that got signed up for. I'm willing to bet. But yeah, I said if their pool to start was 880,000, roughly 120,000 people straight up didn't apply. I'm taking into account I'm going to say that 15% of people didn't apply. I know that number is 17%. I don't feel like dealing with 17%. So that'd be 760,000. Let's say 60% of that number were approved for Bilt 2.0 straight up and took it. That's only 456,000. Let's put another 38,000 in the pool for 5% of folks who got reconsidered for, they were initially rejected, but like they emailed Lieutenant Dan, or I'm sorry, the COO of Bilt, and got their application process reconsidered. So that's only 494. And then let's say there were 100,000 new applicants between the RJs, Joe Barrettos, and Luke's Points and Miles of the world. That's not a ton of cards. But as RJ did mention, more than cardless has probably dealt with.
Also, if you go to the Bilt website and say, hey, my card package arrived open, they're like, hey, I can request a replacement card for you. Would you like to do that? And you say yes. And then they say, I'm not able to order a replacement for you. You have to call the customer service line.
I can't even fully clap on that one.
Like, they ask you if you want it, and then when you say yes, they're like, no, you can't have it. You have to call.
There's some insurance company that's just a guy dangling $1 on a fish rod. You got to be faster than that. That's what Bilt's doing to you right now.
I don't know why it surprised me, but still, because it said, do you want it? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, sucks for you.
Look, just stop expecting stuff, both of you. Just lower your expectations.
Lonnie, my expectations were through the concrete floor I'm sitting on.
Sure.
How much lower do I have to take them?
Lower.
Guess we're going down to the limestone.
Did either of you watch Mad TV when it was on?
Of course.
You remember Lower Expectations? Like, I feel like Bilt is one of the tapes from Lowered Expectations.
Oh boy. All right. Let's cut it there on that. I think we've more than answered. Now I'm just thinking of Bilt as can I have your number? Can I have your application? That's how they were closing out this whole thing with sending text messages and emails for the last like 3 days. Can I have your app? Can I have your application? Yo, you haven't signed up for a card yet. Can you sign up for a card? Will you sign up for a card, please? All right. With that, any final thoughts?
I'm glad RJ went last.
Same.
Amex Green Refresh when?
That's another one I'm going to pay attention to. They only got to do very little things for me to get it. Very little. And I already know I'm not getting a sub because gold platinum. But
though I got a sub on the green, and I had both the gold, and I currently have the platinum when I got the sub, when they did the 60K sub.
Oh, they didn't want to give me the sub for the brilliant. I'm not co-brands versus charge. Yeah, there might be a chance.
Hey.
This close. But I'm already spending over $3K a year in all my annual fees, so I don't want to add an extra 150 for something I don't necessarily need unless it's more benefit. I don't need the points. I don't need to add the transit category. I want the benefit. I already got clear. Yeah, I already got clear and all. Yeah, just you better be able to provide me something that I don't already have. That's all I'm looking for. enhance what I already have. There we go.
Supposedly, Wells is dropping a new card in 3 days, but I know you don't care.
I don't think most people are going to care. In fact, I think most people are going to complain, but we'll see.
Yeah, don't care. You won't see the new Wells Fargo video from me, I'll tell you that.
Lonnie, the next Wells Fargo video
Spoiler alert
will cause me to have an aneurysm because I will die of shock.
Spoiler alert.
If they had a United and the beyond of your dreams, you would make a Wells Fargo video.
Yeah, they'd have that plus is like whatever you get, you just get like free first class upgrades for the first year. Oh, that's the only sub I need.
Absolutely destroy the card and the company.
Yeah, that's the only sub I need. It's just whatever I book is first class for the year.
Hey, y'all remember
give Lonnie $300,000
for the economy price?
Y'all remember the original City Prestige and that unlimited 4th night free? Yeah. What if we did something far stupider? Genius. Here's $100,000 bonus.
Hey, stupider things have happened in the credit card space.
Was it American that had the free companion pass for life, or if you sent in like soup labels, you got 2 free tickets anywhere? Okay, United. I knew it was one of the big airlines. I thought AA would do that.
American at one point did like a lifetime pass. I want to say it was at least business class, maybe first class, unlimited lifetime pass. They sold it for $500,000 or something like that in the early 1990s. Mark Cuban still has one. And he was just like joking around with his friends. They bought it and he still uses it to this day.
That would get me to fly American.
Doesn't pay a dime because he spent whatever he spent in 1990.
I would fly American for free first class flights. I would suffer like that.
Sure. American also lost a boatload of money doing that.
Yeah, it didn't last for long because they didn't expect so many people to buy it. But the people that have the money and can do math are like, oh, this is a bargain.
Obviously, I'm doing this. American was whatever CEO conjured that one up. They were there for a good time, not for a long time at American. And they probably got a hell of a golden parachute.
That's going to be Bilt's next thing. Get the Bilt card and you'll get free first class.
Don't give Ankur ideas at this point.
Hey, I have one of the cards.
Please give him ideas.
I need ideas on sustainability, not necessarily ideas on how to speed run the end of the company.
I'm fine with them going out of business as long as as long as I get first class. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm the customer. Take all, leave nothing behind. That's how I feel. Like, I don't really care what they do if I'm on the winning side of it. If you went to Vegas right now and every third bet you won big, how many bets are you placing? 5, all in. $5, all in again. Come on. I'm the customer here.
Until they throw me out.
Until they throw you out.
Which would be pretty freaking quickly if you jackpot like 3 times in a row.
As long as it wasn't illegal. They can't kick you out for no reason, but they can politely try to entice you to stop playing.
When the 2 very tall Italian men show up on either side of you, that's a really good enticement.
I'm just saying, I didn't say you had to wait till the very last minute to walk away. Look, man, I'm a black man in America. I'm going to be gone way before that. I'm going to get mine and get out. I will not be messing around in Vegas. I'm not going to stand next to the people messing around in Vegas. Just off of, I don't want to be hit up on affiliation.
I uncorked quite the screwball on that final thought ask. RJ, any final thoughts from you?
Facts are facts.
Go Seahawks, I guess, because I don't want another Patriots Super Bowl.
There we go. With that, I'd like to shout out our new members and Diamond members. You can join them, find all the things you need from there. All your host channels, all of the Discord membership, all of that, stackerpoints.com. Our newest silver member is Christian Williams Green. Our diamond members are Rupert Pond, Rygrex Hunter, Mitch 528, Keith, Double Animal Fries, and Jason YT46. Thank you so much, everyone, for your continued support of the channel. We will see you next week or on the live on Thursday. Right, there's a live on Thursday.
There is.
Might have forgotten that we had a live on Thursday.
And I have like math I'm doing and like pre-planning.
Y'all made RJ do math. Shame
I
on
did.
y'all.
I've done a lot of math. It's like real.
It is real math. All right. Later, everybody.